session for a client. So I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring a session with me, please visit me at my website at abbynormalswisdomquest.com. All right, I'm going to read the goals here and get started. All right, dear Abby, please help me tune into some higher wisdom on these questions. Many teachings that I've heard say that there are no victims in this plane of existence. We are born choosing these situations to learn through. Yet I sometimes find myself stuck in these patterns of thinking and even being. Number 1, is it wrong to commemorate or see others as victims, thus perpetuating these ideas? All right, so is it wrong to see people as victims? Okay, interesting. That perpetuating this concept. Number 2, how can we better free ourselves of such patterns or frames of existence? Number 2 is only if this concept is true. So if we need to stop seeing people as victims, then how do we stop doing that? And is it okay to see people as victims? Is it okay to define ourselves as a victim sometimes? And gosh darn it, why can't we be? All right, I'm going to relax now. This is a really phenomenal question. 2 questions. I really like this thought process here. I can't wait to see what Spirit has to share on this. All right. Do you feel like a victim ever? Do you ever want to figure out why in the world you're attracting experiences that I mean, sometimes life inspires us to have these questions. All right. I love the deep contemplation about this. Here we go. Okay, hold on. Wow. Whoa. I'm already being shown something interesting here. There's water that's just flowing off the back of my head, and it's creating this woman who has gorgeous water hair. And she has a human body, human face, and she has this blue water hair, and it's more like a purpley blue color, more blue than purple. She's washing her water hair in water. It's so strange. It's like the water kind of is her hair, but yet I see water flowing into her hair, and it's like washing her water hair. She's continuing to wash her hair. And she's just still washing her hair that is made out of water, with water. She's washing her water hair with water. And so the question is, what's dirty? Her hair of water is not dirty, so why does she need to wash it? To experience the water. She just wants to experience water flowing through her water hair. She likes it. So it's not about cleaning her hair, it's just about enjoying water flowing through her water hair. So can't we just enjoy life? Can't we just enjoy certain things? Does it have to be because of something else that we are doing something? I'm running because I want to get in shape, or I just like to run. I'm eating salads because it's healthy, or I like salads. I'm just eating salad. And she's asking you, what do you like? Because you just like it. She's adding these additional words, and it is, does that define you? So what do you like because you simply like it? And now, does this define you? Because now she's saying, what defines anybody? And your personality and the things that you like or do not like, does that actually define you? In this reality, does it define you? Could you say, yes, that defines me? defines me to say that I like this and I don't like that. And maybe that we can change our definitions of our identities as we get older. The things that we liked when we were younger, we don't necessarily like as we're older, because we're always dynamically changing. So will you like the same thing forever, and that will just simply define you for all time? So for all eternity, you will always like this one thing forever? Or could you be dynamically changing? So what defines you as a victim, or what defines you as free, or what defines you as rich, or what defines you as poor? Let's say your soul likes to explore challenges. Does that define your soul? And that challenge then defines you in that reality as a victim? Does that define you? What if your soul likes to play that part, play that role? Could a soul like that? Could I like to wash my water hair with water even though my water hair isn't dirty? Could I just like that? Does that define me? Is it okay to be a victim sometimes? Because you want to know what it's like? Because you just want to be a victim sometimes? Do you know why souls want to be victims? Sometimes they want to receive sympathy. They want to receive nurture. Sometimes souls just break under the weight of their life experiences and then conjure up an event that just keeps the ball rolling with more problems. Are they a victim, or are they choosing more suffering because they like to suffer? Do souls really like to suffer? So that comes to this whole conversation about growing and learning. If all there was heaven, then we wouldn't truly know what heaven was. And so we have to leave heaven to explore, you could say hell, in order to understand what heaven actually represents. In order to do that, you will have to explore being a victim of what? Some people are victims of bad habits. Some people are victims of different types of insecurities. Are those insecurities a choice? What if you don't have the tools or the support in your life in order to overcome those insecurities? Therefore, you have to live with it. Does that make you a victim? And she's sending waves. And the whole point of this conversation is to give you more room to interpret and understand the whole of, I guess, the circulation of it all. The circulation and the whys, and it's kind of to neutralize what you could define as right or wrong about anything. And because sometimes we get attached to words and attached to definitions, but then when you start to look at it from a million different angles, it's like, why am I even trying? To somebody, blue is yellow and the world is flat and the world is round, and it's like, in the end, is that okay? Sometimes she's showing me, it sounds like this, what we are and what we project, we don't often know where that's coming from. And sometimes we say things that we know aren't true, but we say it anyway because of some other reason. And why would somebody lie to somebody else? Why would you ever want to do that? Now, does that define you as a liar? Does that define you as insecure? Does that define you as a victim because throughout your life you were, let's say your parents were dishonest people and you found an easy way out by stretching the truth, which isn't actually saying the truth. It's just saying what you think is the right thing to say. And now are you a victim because of what you went through earlier in life and how that transformed you into this person? You're just a victim of circumstances. And why in the world would a soul put themselves into that complex scenario where they would be vulnerable? Does that make them a victim, or does that give them the opportunity to grow? So they could decide if they want to be a liar, or if they want to say, holy smokes, how come I'm always stretching the truth? How come I'm not actually being completely honest here? Why do I do that? I don't want to do that anymore. So you see, now the soul's changing. Was the liar that what defined the soul? Or was it just something the soul was at that time? And now it is an honest person, you know? And so it's like the soul is always in circulation and growth and change and self-discovery through a new lens of perspective, constantly circulating. Okay. Just a minute. There's weight here on your face. Oh. Heavy, heavy weight. Exhaustion. Throat is jammed. Oh my goodness, there's just so much weight here. Okay. I see, let's say a teenage boy, and then it's like a baseball team, and there's like 8 other boys that are starting to surround this one boy who's in the middle, and he's trying to find a way out, but no matter which way he runs, this circle around him is getting smaller and smaller. And then there's this sort of leader of the group that has a baseball bat and is smiling and sort of very intimidating, like, yes, we will beat you. And yes, there is nowhere you can run. Yes, you will endure this. So she says, let's time out for a minute. Let's look at every single version of perspective in this group. Just the souls in this scene. Let's look at the planet Earth. Let's look at the stars that are watching us. Look at all the spirit guides. Let's look at all the ancestors and deceased loved ones. Look at the angels and the galactic families. Let's look at all time. Let's look at past, present, future. Let's look at a trillion different perspectives now. Is it just this one reality, or is it infinite layers, interdimensional realities, infinite time, infinite space, and all and oneness and separation? Who's the victim? Or who is the experiencer? The chooser of that experience. So we take the word victim out, now we are just experiencers, right? Experiencers. I make a choice, I'm going to follow through with that choice, and then let's see what happens next. So what inspires the bully? Are they a victim of insecurity? What inspires the bully's friends? They're victims. They're choosing that experience. They're going to learn from that experience. Maybe they will get worse from this experience. Maybe they will run away from home. Maybe they will be caught by the police and put in jail. Maybe they'll go to detention. Maybe nobody will find out about it. Maybe this kid will go home and his dad will beat him with a baseball bat. And he will die. Will he be a victim? What about the kid in the middle here? What's he a victim of? He is an experiencer. All these souls are experiencing and choosing their experience together. And the earth exists here, and the insects, and nature, and the birds, and the fairies, and the stars, and the galactic family, and the past, present, and future, and all of these simultaneous lifetimes, and they're all circulating. It's all happening simultaneously. Heaven, hell, demons, angels. Now I see you are sharing some thoughts here. Where's the intervention? Where's the intervention? So let's say I'm the guy in the middle, and I am calling for intervention. I am calling for help. I am calling for and saying, I am not choosing this experience. I don't want to have this experience. So what part of me is choosing to have this experience? Because I do see that as a victim role. I do see that as a victim of some terrible event that is basically BS, all right? Like, why do I have to be beaten? because this kid decides he wants to be a jerk today and then chooses me. Why me? Why do I have to be the victim? What did I do? I don't want to be the victim. I don't want it. So how can I choose to not be the victim? It's kind of like, how do I choose to never incarnate on earth ever again? I am a victim of this incarnate process, and I, the human, say no. What is the power of the human? What is the power of the human's decision making? What even magnetically attracted all of this into being? We all want to manifest a reality where there's nothing like this nightmare event. There's no car accidents, there's no war, there's no drug abuse, there's no abuse of parents. The education system is supportive of all different learning dynamics, and everybody has food to eat. Nobody's starving anymore. Everybody has clothes. Everybody has wealth. We are all helping each other and growing as a dynamic society. Everything is perfect. Are we ready for that as a collective? Because if we were ready for that, we would be there already. So what in our collective is a victim of what we can't become yet? We're all victims of everybody else's problems because, hello, don't you know? We should be a collective of balance and love and generosity and understanding and compassion and working together. Where some of the collective is saying, I hate you and I'll never stop hating you. And so are we victims of those souls that can't get a clue, that can't stop hating? And what part of us is also that soul that still hates? And what part of us hates ourselves? And what part of us hates this whole thing called reincarnation? And why the heck did we even come here? Because I hate planet Earth. I'm a victim of everything. Or I'm an experiencer of everything. And everything is teaching us in that moment. So now let's look at this bully scenario again. And we're going to be experiencers. Okay? I'm in the middle of this stupid situation. And either A, I can let myself be beaten down, maybe even killed. I could fight back. I could scream bloody murder. I could do something weird, like just take all my clothes off and start going and start acting so weird that they're like, I don't even want to beat you because I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. You get to choose. Are you a victim, or do you get to decide how you want to respond to it? And then see what happens. You're thinking. And I say there's not just one response. I often think about this. I don't know why, okay? I don't know why. I haven't actually explored why. But I see myself, I'm in the ocean, and there's sharks. And I ask myself, would it be committing suicide if I just chose to drown because I didn't want to know what it's like to get eaten by a shark? And what if I drowned and went into the spirit realm only to see if I could have held in there for 10, 15 more minutes, a helicopter would have come and found me? Would I be weak to drown myself? Would that be committing suicide? So I ponder this. An experiencer who has to make a difficult decision and see what happens next. No matter what that decision is, you have to own it. And there's no wrong decision. So if you choose to end your life because you're terrified of getting eaten by sharks, your soul now has to decide what that means to your soul, okay? However you react to being in the middle of a ring of bullies, now you get to ponder it at the soul level, what that means to you. And you know what's interesting about dynamic souls is they explore so many different versions of hell, torture, shame, guilt, fears of all kinds, between human fears and psychic fears, alien lifetimes, on and on and on and on, trillions of lives. And the more experiences your soul has, the more you start to understand the balance. You start to understand it. You start to come to peace with it. Because you just start to realize that life is full of experiences. And we just choose to follow our heart into the next experience. And if that ends up being a regret, now that's also an experience that we need to work through. I'm a victim of this experience, and now I'm a victim of regret. That's also choice. Well, I'm going to choose to own this experience. I hate that I'm going through it, but I am going through it. I'm going to try to make the most of this. I'm going to try to find my power in this moment. And if I break, if I die, if I whatever, then fine. I'm just going to go through this. And life isn't always about the split-second moments. Sometimes it's about day after day after day after day after day. I am a victim of life. So now if you can start to tell the concept of being a victim, if we just delete that word and say, I am life. I am alive. I am living and breathing and learning through every experience I have, and they're not always fun, but I am proud of me for going through it and finding some way to learn and grow and keep learning and growing. We sometimes have to go through these ultimate pickles. And it's like, what do I even do in this ultimate pickle? And it could be years that this pickle has been developing and turning into a dozen knots that you can't seem to get yourself out of. And now you're stuck in the spider web. Are you a victim of your own decisions over the course of your lifetime that intermixed with the way people made you feel and how that broke down your self-confidence? You're a victim of that. You see? So are you a victim? Or do you have a choice? Oh, my parents were all dishonest and they taught me to be dishonest, and I find it works for me, so I'm going to be dishonest. Sometimes you'll be self-aware and sometimes you won't. There's even self-aware people that don't see everything about themselves. And it's through the dynamic challenges and successes of life that we start to get to know who we are and who we choose to be. In that moment, you could say defines you. So if you define yourself as a victim, go for it. That's your choice. You choose to explore that identity. If you choose to say, I'm an experiencer of life, I don't like this experience. Does that make me a victim? I just simply don't like this experience. It's not what I prefer. But I'm going to go through it and I'm going to find my way through it, and I'm not going to call myself a victim. I'm going to call myself a champion. So this is how you can rearrange your perspective, rearrange the way that you are speaking, rearrange the way that you are choosing to behave, choosing to embrace or resist. Because everything is always in the flow. Even when it feels like it's stuck, that's because you need time to think. That's because you're not ready. That's because you have a lot to digest, things that you don't even know that you're digesting. That's because you're going through an interdimensional shift that you don't even know that's happening. Like, life is always in the flow. And you decide how you want to feel about that flow. How you want to perceive the flow itself. How you want to perceive life itself. How you want to perceive everybody in this life. How you want to just perceive even life and death. And the process of what is beyond life. And what is beyond death. It's always in the palm of your hands. You are the master. You are the chooser. You are the God. And that God is going to be challenged. You in this human form are going to be challenged. And I say, bring it. Break me down. And trust me, I'm like everybody else. I don't like it. But I know that this is one of those moments where I'm being challenged. So I'm gonna feel this. I'm gonna feel the breaking of my soul right now. And I'm gonna acknowledge that it hurts me. And I'm gonna say, well, why does it hurt me? Why don't I like this experience? What can I do to make it something that I would prefer? Maybe there's nothing I can do but just accept the way things are and feel that in my heart that everything's going to be okay, because I choose to need that concept to get me through this pain and suffering. I'm still a chooser, and we are still working together as a collective. And we choose what we want to believe and how we want to react and how we want to speak from the heart, or speak from lies, or express ourselves as truth, and really we're insecure and whatever, you know? And that's the interesting dynamic of our planet, you know? All right. Let's see what else comes up about this. Because I feel like you're getting this. I feel like even a shift in your own energy field, a shift in your perception, a shift in your understanding, and a feeling of, I guess, coming into a balance inside yourself, more breathable, kind of getting centered within awareness. Maybe you were getting attached to some ideas and you just needed to detach in order to kind of expand and then see more variations of, I guess, bigger pictures and layers of perceptions of things. She's talking about micro and macro perspectives, and how you could say your perspective is your truth, is your, what defines you. You could say that. You could say anything you want. So you could say the micro perspective is, I am surrounded by these bullies. And I am a victim, because you could definitely say that I was a victim of a bunch of bullies that beat me down and I nearly died. I had to go to the hospital. I was a victim of that experience. On a micro level, you could say that. A very human thing to say. Is that wrong? Is that lying? Is that bad? Or is that the way that you need to express that concept, that experience? That's the way that you need to speak about it at this time. 10 years go by and a lot of time. You're building upon a micro perspective, something more macro, because you have more experiences, more time, and you become wise. Now you're starting to understand why you had that experience in the first place. And you're learning more details about yourself, about these bullies, about whatever was the dynamic next thing. Because it's not just about the moment, it's about all the moments and the domino effect of everything that happens from that epicenter of an event. But you can also see an even more macro perspective, which is like the enlightened path of understanding about interdimensional spaces and infinite time, and on, demons and angels, and the influence and the negativity and the astral plane and the positive, the heaven and the hell, it's all time, you know. You can see it from that angle as well. It's your choice how you want to perceive your reality. And there's something I feel inspired to say. So I explore, who do I want to be in this life? What do I like being in this life? I like being a nice person because I like watching people smile. I love people smiling. I love people laughing. I know I'm awkward. And so it is the way that I am, you know? And so I'm okay with that. I can keep working on not being awkward, because I don't want to be awkward. So I can work on that, okay? But am I really awkward, or is that just part of my personality? So here I am defining myself, right? As what is like, I really like people smiling. I like when people laugh. I know I like that. This awkward side of me, So I really like to narrow down how I feel about my identity and how I want to grow in this life. And then I just do that. Now life is going to have experiences that are attracted to me, and I'm attracted to them simultaneously in order for me to face different things, for me to continue to decide if I still like people smiling and people laughing and being a nice person and influencing that response. Do I still like that even 10 years down the road? I suspect yes. But maybe I will become very twisted and I will like dark, deep, demonic things. I don't know, but I feel very confident that I'm going to continue a path that I prefer, that makes me feel good, that I feel defines even my soul. I feel right about it. I feel right about it. So if you're in the midst of a moment that you're a victim of something, is that the bigger picture of who you are? Or who you are is this nice person that loves to make people laugh and smile, and that's who you'll always be in this lifetime. So a victim could be a very short-lived event, but who you are is a much bigger picture. You know what I mean? So now how do you define yourself? Because you have every right to say whatever you want to say. Because this is your experience. And by calling yourself a victim, now you have other experiences related to that labeling, that identification of yourself. You will have new experiences based on how you define yourself. If you attach to that instant in time and you as the victim for years, you see how great your life is going to be? Versus you say, you know what, I was a victim of something, I didn't enjoy it, but I'm going to let that go. I'm going to forgive those souls because I'm courageous and I'm strong enough to do that. And I'm going to keep living for who I want to be in my life. I want to keep being happy. I want to make people smile. And I'm going to keep working through the post-traumatic stress of that. But I'm not going to let that control my life. I'm not going to let that control my life. I'm going to continue to be the me that I want to be. And if that means I have to work on awkward stuff, and maybe I have a lisp, or maybe I like to skip, but I'm embarrassed to do it in public because people are always judging me. Well, dang it, I'm just going to skip from now on because I'm just going to own the way that I want to walk, and I prefer to skip instead of walk. So screw this world. Screw this world for telling me I can't skip instead of walk. Screw you people. I'm going to overcome that because I'm not going to be a victim of judgment. I'm going to love myself, and I'm going to conquer the way people see the way that we need to walk, and I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to skip. And if people want to judge me, it has nothing to do with me. They're a victim of their own ego. So screw you. All right, let's see. Yeah, you are so much brighter. Like, you kind of like, oh, this I see. I see. Yeah, you're really bright. And that weight that was kind of weighing down your face and your throat is way more breathable. I mean, this is flowing so much better. I don't feel weight on your backside. There was also weight kind of back there too. Feels more breathable. Feels more safe to be human and safe to be who you are. Safe to be here on Earth. It's not a matter of is it safe or not safe. But you know how like there's a comfort level that we just kind of sink into when we just feel good about just the way things are. Does that mean I am safe? Or is that just I feel like I'm in the flow, And when you feel in the flow, it's safe to be in the flow. And I'm not going to resist the flow. And I'm going to believe in me and the experience that I'm attracted to and that is attracted to me, even if my mind can't understand it. Then I'm going to choose to do it my way. And if it hurts me, I can still come through the other side and choose to stay true to how I believe and how I see and how I feel that I want to express myself in my life, no matter what happens. Just going to own that. Just going to keep being a nice person because I like being a nice person or whatever. Yeah. All right. That was so cool. Man, that was awesome. That was so great. Thank you so much for this. I have a feeling that anybody watching this video is gonna get it. I get it more than even got it. When I was like, okay, I kind of understand this. I kind of understand that. I don't know how to explain my understanding because I need help figuring out the language, figuring out my understanding of this. And it just kind of comes out. And now I feel like I get it even more. I think we all win from this session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having this moment, inspired to ask these questions. Here I am doing a session for you, sharing it with the world. We are helping the world together. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing this with me. Thank you for sharing this with others. I really hope that you feel transformed from this. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody who subscribed to my YouTube channel, who subscribed to Patreon. Thank you all for being a part of my life. Thank you for all your love and support. I hope you all have a very wonderful rest of your day.